Hola,
What's up?
Silvita.
Hola, hola. How are you? It's
I can
been like,
see a new hairstyle.
yes, how is it? I just, wanted to be blondie. I was done with being like dark brown.
That's Blondie on your side
Yeah,
of the
you're
world.
not able to see it well, right? Like, I don't know, and this light is looking red, but it's actually like ash blonde. I'll
Wow,
send
it
you
looks
a
very
picture
red
later on.
brown.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but it
weird.
looks nice. It's looking nice. It's
Thank
good
you
that
very much.
we'll be just talking about some of the things like what you do with yourself or for yourself that is good for Earth, but is it good? No, that is good for you, but is it good for Earth? You know?
I think that's quite interesting, and I am like really game for it, Agita, because I believe in a lot of things. So it'll be great to exchange ideas on that today.
Yeah, it's just I also think, as world's leaders a month ago, they signed off this new climate agreement, how to tackle the problems that we have. It's very relevant for us today to talk, about our personal standpoint, especially East versus West. I think there are quite a few interesting differences, and possibly even our personal commitment and, things that we do in a daily life that help to keep this world a livable place.
Yes.
And actually, talking about COP26, I remember that India actually was the country which made last minute arrangements because as far as I recall, the leader was saying, hey, you know what, India is a developing country, therefore we can't just switch off fossil fuel and stop using coal and stuff like that, because we need to focus on poverty reduction and other things that require, still to put budget somewhere else.
Yes.
And I was thinking it's interesting that, well, while you live in India day in and day out, what would you say are the key issues that you see that the country could be tackling in a better way, or that are worrying you when you see them?
Aiste, from what I see, and for the last maybe 10 years, from if I have to compare 10 years before how India was and now how it is, I think things have really changed. Like, for example, a very small example I'm giving you. I live by the beach, right, here in Mumbai. And I see that every week, every weekend, every festival season, after each festival, I see there's a lot of beach cleanup happening with different sort of NGO or some sort of a civic social body, or people like you and me who've taken the initiative and they've started like kind of like, cleaning up the beach, recycling stuff, so I feel that's something that has to come from within. The government can do so much by pushing you and telling you to do so and so, but I think now the people of our age, our generation, with the social media, with internet, things have definitely changed, and people do feel that if you do not keep your planet clean or healthy, you are not going to be healthy, and you're not going to be living the life that you should be living, right? Or probably our great grandparents who've lived. And I think with COVID, with pandemic, people have learned quite a few lessons from what I see in the news and what I see in day-to-day lives. Pretty much, I think it has to come from within. And secondly, me coming, of course, lived overseas and everything. When I came back to India also, I think that thing was engraved in my brain that if you're in the kitchen and you want to kind of, how you segregate the rubbish, which is like dry waste and wet waste, right? Like, it's just in my brain. And these days I have an OCD with that, and I've taught even my maids here that, listen, if you do this, everything is going to go in a dumping zone. And there again, they're just going to dump your plastic, everything which actually can be recycled and be reused, right? For us. So it all starts from you and starts from your home. And I think now people have, if you teach them what to do, they are definitely going to be doing it, and they are doing it.
And Sappy, you actually touched an interesting thing, because the recycling part, which you said you kind of recycle at your home, wet waste and dry waste, while here I think it's all plastic, paper, glass, the organic, and more definitions. So do you know in India what happens with your wet waste and with your dry waste?
See, from what I see, that we don't live in independent houses like I live back in my hometown with my parents. So here in this society, each and every society in Mumbai, from what I know, that they fine you if you do not put your wet waste, as in your food,
Organic.
leftovers. Yes, and the rest would be, let's say, like this tea bag, like plastics or bottles that all go in a different thing. And I think they send it to a I don't know, there must be some sort of a body that goes, from what I hear, with each municipal, like in Mumbai, we have this BMC, right, who takes care of, your areas. And I think they really handle it. Even when, from what I see, when I go down early in the mornings, I see this dumping, trucks, they come in, right? And at times, like, I do see that there are bins which they separated from, wet and dry. So I'm sure there's a way for them to recycle it. And if we don't do it, then they're also not going to do it. I think we need to work with the government hand in hand, as public.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that dry waste is actually going to some recycling center and not just all together being, dumped somewhere, because the dry waste is basically the one which we need to recycle, the paper,
exactly.
the
paper, plastics. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, nice. I think only when I moved to Spain to live, I started like stronger recycling, because in Lithuania there was still at that time not that many containers where you actually, maybe you want to recycle inside at home, but then you go and there's only one container for all the trash. So where do you put the one you recycle? Yeah. But of course, we have a lot of recycling centers where they take generic trash and they put, and there are actually people working who do this dirty work, let's say.
Yes.
So kind of makes sense. And I kind of like also that in Spain, of course, with the richness of the wind and sun, they are also moving quite strongly to the renewable energy sources. And I think Spain is one of those countries which said by, I'm now scared to lie a bit, but I think it was by 2050 they will not have any fuel fossil. They will only be working on renewable energy, also green energy sources, which I think is great. I hope we will survive by 2050. I am. And I also was thinking, when I was thinking about India, I think is exactly what you say. The change needs to come from inside, but also there are so many people who are not educated well on how much their activities actually contribute to the worsening of the planet, let's say. Do you see or do you hear about any like bigger educational campaigns for all the people to say what you can actually do on a daily life to help this planet?
Right. I think I have seen quite a few, campaigns in India. You do know that TV commercials are really huge. Bollywood celebrities are big. They're the ones who people actually follow, right? So there are people from Bollywood who are actually doing it in Carter Road. I see every month, especially after Ganpati. You know what happens after Ganpati celebration? The idol is taken and immersed in the sea, but then they are not like organic, they're not like green, so these days everything is like go green, go green, go green. So I feel that even the ones who are not educated, but they do have access to cell phones, or they have access to TV, or they just see something outside, they would know what it is. It's slow. I wouldn't say that, oh my god, they know everything, but what I really hope and I wish that people like you and me first should take the initiative. That's the people would actually, like, we are the people who would make the difference first, and then comes the ones who are not educated, right? But I don't see that happening with a lot of people who are even like you and me. So we can't even blame the rest of them.
No.
I really feel this.
No, because even like I remember 10 years ago, let's say, when I was in India, and I remember that you used to have this I think stamp or something that you are like, your motorcycle has this filter on, but actually I remember we used to go and just pay some money and they put the stamp. They don't even check what you have on. So, I mean, I'm sure there were loads of tricks how, you know, there is a system, government says, yes, we're doing this, but actually until people really understand the meaning of it and actually start doing it, it's not going to work. I mean, on paper, yes, but in reality, we're going to still get like worsening situation.
Yes, yes, totally. And also, you know, now you were talking about coal, and I just want to tell you that I was just having this discussion maybe a month ago with a friend, and I wanted to buy a car, you know, and I said, oh, I want to get this car, you know, how is it? I want an SUV. And they're like, listen, the prices of fuel in India has gone this much, you know, and me being from a family who we've grown up with that industry, right? My father is in that industry, the petrol industry. And every day I see the prices going up, down, up, down. And now, like even the petrol, like I pay 100 something rupees per liter, which is like crazy. From what I remember in Pune, it used to be like some 30, or even like diesel was like 12 rupees, 14 rupees. And I'm like, oh my God. And my friends are telling me that, Sasha, you need to stop like using this, because a lot of my friends have bought like electric cars, you know, they just charge it. Yes, the European vehicles, it's from Europe. And I was like, oh wow, okay, but I haven't seen, so how do you travel? So he was explaining me everything, and he's like, I think you should really move. And I think the entire country, my brother tells me that the entire country very soon, in a few years, you will see nobody is going to put petrol, diesel, nobody's going to be using all sort of, you know, these things. They will go more like green, and they will just use like electric cars, and there are few in India already.
So is there a car, like, let's say, I don't know, by Tata or somebody who already, like, which is already Indian electric car?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think so. I thought it was by Tata Nano. Then I realized, no, it was the tiny one which he wanted to cater to people who didn't even have luxury to get a car. You know, you've seen in India, in a bike, you have the whole family sitting in there, right? In motorcycle, like 6 people in one. So Tata had launched that. I'm not sure about the electric, but as far as I know, all my friends or my brothers that when we speak, they've only spoken about European cars, like chargeable European cars, which people have bought. I forgot the names, but
I hope it's not Tesla, or your friends are really rich.
Oh, Tesla. I need to get one, so please recommend one. So
I can recommend, of course. But I hope you have money, because it's not a cheap pleasure. Well, with electric car, sure.
Okay. Yeah, Tesla, of course. Why not?
No. I mean, it's nice to hear that actually in India also electric car concept is already moving forward, because I think this is also something that we need to shift, you know, fast to be able to improve a bit the situation.
And no, the thing has, sorry to cut you here, but I think the shift has happened with the generation that we are living in. You know, our generation has like moved in India, from what I see from a normal, even a conversation that you have with friends. It has changed.
Okay. And just thinking of all the, I mean, I was just before our call kind of consciously reviewing what I think I'm doing, you know, for this good cause to contribute to less of the, you know, waste, or reduce my carbon footprint and all these activities. And one of the things which okay, so we spoke about recycling, which is, I think, already quite basic, at least for, let's say, for our generation. And there is consciousness and awareness that you need to do that. What I was also thinking, that even meat reduction, so for you as vegetarian, oh my God, like you probably not even thinking of that, but actually meat reduction, and especially red meat reduction, which I do now. I don't eat red meat for the last 17-18 years, is also contributing quite a bit, because I remember reading that you know, these buffaloes, cows, sheep, goats, they have this special digestion system, and they burp and fart a lot of methane, which actually contributes to this heat trapping gases, which creates the, you know, the climate heating effect. And because of course the world still is very much eating red meat, and we have to grow so much of the animals, their contribution to this worsening situation is actually really big. So even if you, let's say, reduce your red meat consumption by, I don't know, 1/3 or at least some sort of level, this already can make big effect in general, in general consumption levels. And I think, well, India is probably not that big contributing because you guys are
India's like less contributing now. They've even banned beef, right? You know that?
Yeah.
In India.
Oh, it's banned.
Yes. You don't get it, like especially in Mumbai, in Delhi, nowhere. I don't think so. Only back in my hometown, I still feel, because people can't live without beef. The Tibetan community, the Mongolian community, they still eat. Like they eat buff. Apparently, they call it buff here in Mumbai and Delhi. I don't know.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I remember it was banned in Maharashtra for some time, but now it's
no.
So you can't eat. You basically can have it around, but you can't, kill it for food consumption.
Yeah, food consumption you cannot. But there are still, I say, what's the difference? I mean, I don't know. I've never eaten red meat. They say you can eat cow, and then you can eat also buffalo. But buffalo they're eating. I mean, when I go to a restaurant, they're like, okay, okay, what's this? A buff burger. I said, okay, but I thought, no, cow is banned, but buff they can eat.
Okay, so cow because it's a saint animal, but buffaloes. Okay, so well, there is still a place where India also could get better with red meat then.
Exactly, then the buffalo is still farting and burping, they're adding to the pollution.
It's good that I'm wondering now, I don't know the statistics, and probably I don't know if we should go deeper, but how much methane, or is there methane in human burps and farts? I guess not.
Oh my God. Then if that's the case, but listen, but also they also say, right, like, I mean, other countries as well, that you cannot have, people don't, but I think that, what do you say? Giving birth to too many babies, like back in the days, like my grandmother had 9 children, Now you can't even take care of one child. Even that is adding to the whole, if you talk about it, they say, in India also, I don't know if it's true, but from what I read, that you can't have more than, I don't know, certain amount of kids. I don't know if the law has come, or I've just heard somewhere, or there was a discussion, I'm not sure about.
To limit amount of children. So it's like China.
China. Which country has it?
China used to have one child policy. So I'm wondering whether India is following the example.
Oh my God, India, I don't think so. I know so many people who've had like, they're popping kids during COVID, one after another.
Okay. I mean,
like pop.
That's almost a song, Sappy. Please go on. Okay, but talking actually about food, so moving from meat, another interesting fact, because I was just recently watching this documentary called Feast to Save the Planet. I think that's UK documentary, and basically they were talking about different types of food and how much carbon footprint is associated with each of them. Because, even if you choose, let's say, I don't know, I am vegetarian and I love asparagus. And most of the time, asparagus is actually, at least to Spain or whatever, to UK probably, it's coming from, let's say, South Americas by plane, because it's very fragile kind of vegetable. And the amount of carbon footprint it releases through all this journey is actually even higher than if I was eating, I don't know, a fish, which was caught here. So, like there are these choices which I would think, vegetables is the best thing to choose. But actually you should always see whether it's local, seasonal, fresh. So, they are not stored and used in these big, freezers, which also like needs to work on electricity. Then, I mean, there is a lot of so many details that sometimes you just don't think when you choose the, the product in the shop. But maybe for us to get conscious more about these kind of things also could be helpful, because, maybe I really want strawberries, but then strawberries are brought from Tunisia, let's imagine. And then I can see raspberries, which are grown just like 100 kilometers from here. maybe for me it's not such a big deal, but actually it's much healthier for everybody and for the planet that if I choose those raspberries to eat. So yeah, I think in India though you have a lot of most of your produce is local, right? Like the vegetables.
No, I mean, they are, but you see, I don't know how much you were aware during pandemic. What happened was this COVID time, our prime minister said that, listen, we need to promote Atmanirbhar, means like made in India, So there's a big campaign that's been running till date, about made in India campaign, which means that whether it's your clothes, whether it's your medicines, whether it's anything, instead of like being dependent on a different country. So I think that's a fabulous move. Like if we are talking about not, getting things from overseas and just having, I think it's a great initiative and people are doing that. But it's become a business thing also with people like designers for that matter. They would be making this, oh no, now it's like Atmanirbhar, it's made in India, so everywhere they write made in India.
I think it's a trend which was here before, like, I mean, it's still very strong, but it's been introduced. I remember when I was living in UK, it was always like made in UK. So therefore, like, I am happy to pay even bigger price because of course, UK is an expensive country to do many things. And it used to be like this internal proud feeling that you buy something that is locally made by local people, and so forth. So I guess this is now the trend in India, which I think is though a great trend to do. And India is so rich with everything, like all the things that they make are also good quality and stuff. So I'm happy. I'm wondering whether you're gonna stop buying, let's say, grass now. That's it.
I'm just thinking, what would they stop? But it's difficult, with the machineries, with the factories. I mean, the government is doing the best I think they can right now. Of course, it's a population of crazy amount of people that we have in this country, but they're doing a great initiative. I think it would definitely help for this whole, the topic that we're talking about. Leaving the carbon footprints and things like that. I think we are headed there. We're definitely headed there, not reached the destination, but India is definitely headed to what the rest of the countries were already doing it, And I think the awareness has come properly 100% after the pandemic.
That's good. That's good to hear. Another thing which I'm just thinking now, you probably won't feel the same because I know that you drive a car all the time, probably. But here I choose all the time to most of the time, to walk, to take public transport or to cycle. And I think this is also like kind of big contribution to not becoming, like I need to go somewhere. So I just take a car, I'm alone and I just go on and not even car sharing. I'm not sure whether that would be very possible for you in India to do.
Yes, it's a little tough here in India, if you say that. And I am the biggest example, the brand ambassador, if you call it, like if I'm leaving a carbon footprint by taking my car, because I can literally walk to my gym. It's like right here. But sorry, Aiste, I actually take the car and go.
What's the reason? Just curious. Like it's probably 5 minutes, right? Why do you take a car?
I just get very lazy. I'm like, okay, I know I have to work out. I'd rather work out. I'm not going to. Okay. Oh yes, the biggest reason. Let me tell you. Okay, when you're in Europe, you're in America, you're in Australia, you have beautiful footpaths. There are no like bicycles coming this way. There are no people walking the same way. There are no vehicles coming from everywhere. It's organized, Even if you have to take, let's say you have a pram with you want to take your toddler on a pram and go to a park. All those things are not convenient here somehow. Like the footpaths, either a beggar is sitting there, and they've made their houses, or either they're like shit everywhere, which has not been cleaned. Oh, really? Like literally now I'm imagining from my house right now where I am. If I have to go to the gym, there are pathways, no doubt. The BMC has made it, but the maintenance is zero. And it's all because of people, right? Like we can't blame them. It's us. Yeah. So that's the reason. I don't want to deal with that shit. I just take the car, I reach in 2 minutes and I go inside.
What about if you took a bicycle?
Bicycle again, how to ride? Because it's crazy. Like your roads, it's not organized, no? Like one road you have like everywhere. You know how everything back there is not, it's organized.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, I would like to say, hey, Sappy, come on, you can do much better and don't be lazy. But from my own experience, I remember, like, for me, that chaos in the streets was so stressful.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, leave alone riding a bicycle, it was difficult to walk, to pass the street sometimes. So I kind of, I kind of feel it. But I hope also it's going to be like some, I don't know, of course, what it takes to a little bit help to organize the street traffic, because of course you have so many people that it kind of makes difficult for everybody to fit at the same time in the same place and also keep on moving. So the pain I feel.
Yeah, I say, come on, I live in Bandra and this is the place where you can walk around, you know, like it's green. I love walking. I'm not saying I don't like, but it's just the infrastructure that way is not the way that we have back in Western countries. You know, I mean, when I was in Australia, I had to walk so much because you have to see a pocket as well. You're not going to pay an Uber like $30-40 to reach somewhere where you can just walk, you know.
Yeah.
And then you're at times, if there's no car, I'll be like, hey, rickshaw bhaiya, wait, I want to go there. Like I will give him 20-30 rupees where I can actually walk and go, but I don't want to go through that stress of, you know, watching the street, seeing there's a poop, again, jumping from this side to that side, then there's a cycle, then there's somebody coming in. Oh my God, messy.
Oh my God, I'm almost getting the not excitement, but like some kind of feeling, remembering the days. And what about well, another thing which I think became stronger when also I moved here to Spain, and I don't know, maybe because electricity is really expensive here, but I always
what is expensive?
Electricity.
Oh, okay.
So I always think make more effort to switch off the light every time you leave from somewhere, like from one room to another, even if you probably will be back in 10 minutes, switch off the light, switch off whatever computer screens. And even like, you know, the clothing wise, we wash the clothes. We have a dryer, so where you can actually put the clothes and dry them. We do the air drying, so we hang them all around and like wait until, you know, it dries themselves. Is this something you also conscious about or not?
I am with you. I am like this, I say. You have no idea in Mumbai, like with even my parents are the same. My family is the same. And I think very much because Mumbai electricity is very expensive too, you know.
Okay.
And it's expensive, but more than expensive, it's just my inner feeling. Like if I'm in another room, I'm like, why do you leave that light on? I used to have this fights with my boyfriends in the past, you know, like they would just leave, go, the AC, you go for a party, the AC is left on. I'm like, excuse me. And they would think that I'm trying to be very like controlling and say that, oh, you know, it's because of money. It's not that. The reason is completely different. What you feel, I feel exactly the same. I do not like to leave my ACs on, fans on. If I'm out, I would turn off all my lights. Not even a light will be on.
No, of course, without, so for sure. Because, you know, like when I was probably in my 20s, I don't know, but for me, the feeling of like, I used to put the lights everywhere, not for a long time, but in general, when I'm home, like I like to put the lights everywhere because I kind of feel like, okay, I can see home. I feel like safe, secure. I see all the corners, especially in the evenings, you know, like when you need the lights.
Yeah.
And here when I stop, you know, when you start like switching off, like you always like switch off and then darkness everywhere until you reach the other room. And for me, it's like I needed to relearn because I'm not the best like friends with darkness in general. And it kind of triggered a bit, you know, like these monsters under the bed feeling.
Yes, I know what you mean. But you know, I think Spain is pretty much, from what I know with all my Spanish friends also in the past, like even when I would go for shower in Australia, like I'm sorry, but you know, I'm Indian by heart. I need a lot of water. Even if it's going for waste, I mean, I don't know, but I need water. You know, I need a lot of water. And we would have these arguments that, oh my God, listen, you can't waste. There's so much water. You know, people don't have water. The earth is going to go this and that. And I'm like, I don't care right now. You know, so there are few things which I don't care, but few things I really care with my heart, you know. Things like that.
Interesting, because for me, you know, India taught me to save water more, especially, you know, when I used to be in the showers with Indian shower. Let's say I have a bucket, it's a limited amount of water, and that's all you have. So, so it's like I used to be very cautious. Okay, which parts I'm gonna scrub more, where I'm gonna put the soap, and whether I'm gonna wash my hair or not, because this is all I have. I mean, there were times, not all the time I lived with the Indian shower, but there were here and there times when I had to. And I think also because we always, you can't drink water from tap there, and like in Lithuania, I'm used to like the water from tap is clean and it's very drinkable. So you don't even feel how much, you drink, you waste. In India, I became much more cautious because like every time you need water, actually it's from the big, big bottles or something that you buy. It's like, you put the price tag on it, and that's why you feel like, okay, actually I need to be careful on this because it's really precious in that sense.
Yes. But having shower with bucket is like, I think not trending anymore, darling, now. It is, back in the days, I think we all were, but now I don't think so. Like if I see a bucket in the bathroom, I'm like, move this shit away. I don't need this anymore.
Oh my God. But
I need to take you to the new India. You need to like come to
revisit. Yeah. But another thing which I think is not still, well, you will confirm me if I'm wrong, all right, which I think is not trendy in India is secondhand things and secondhand clothes. Because here, well, since some time already, not just in Spain, but actually, I don't know, Humana shops is, let's say, quite popular. Like people go to buy clothes from secondhand shops in a rather like, let's say, proud manner, and it's nothing bad, and actually it's even like you're conscious that you're not like keep on buying and wasting, but you actually buy some clothes which already been worn, but they are still in great condition. And the same with things like now one of my friends is moving, and she's looking for furniture from secondhand websites. So basically she's looking whose table she could take, whose sofa, whose chairs and stuff like that, because you're kind of conscious that, okay, these things are still good. Maybe people don't have space anymore, they want to refurbish or whatever, but actually instead of wasting them and putting them to trash or cutting them and creating more garbage, you actually can give them to somebody or sell them to somebody who will find the value out of it. Would you say that's something also starting in India as a trend, or not really?
In India too, I think. When I say India again, I'm talking about people like you and me. There are a bunch of people. I think people who've got more experience living overseas, and who've seen life on that sort of manner, and they do try to kind of recycle, do things like. But depends on what it is. Like clothes, I would never, like in Sydney, I remember going to these markets where it's like secondhand clothing, but amazingly done, right? The flea markets. But here in India, I can't even imagine doing that, right? So that's one thing. Secondly, with furnitures and all, of course, why not? People are doing it. In fact, now what people are doing is that we do have these websites where you can rent, your furniture, so people don't buy them.
Right.
You rent the furnitures, you pay monthly, your refrigerator, TV, and there is a proper company. I've got so many things myself. A lot of my friends, because you're shifting, you don't know for how long you're going to be in that house. You don't know how that shape of the living room is, and you pick something there and it doesn't fit in the next place that you're moving to. So that's very popular in India right now. Very popular. People rent.
But isn't it gets like then more expensive if you just rent and keep on paying on monthly basis rather than you buy a thing?
Yes, but again, it depends on for how long is that person. Let's say I'm in Mumbai for 6 months. It doesn't make sense for me to buy something. Even if I pay, even if the money is more, but where do you throw them away? Like, where do you keep? Like, I had a bed that I bought so expensive for the last 2 years. I just kept it. And I was feeling so horrible. I was like, I wish I could give it to somebody. And finally, I gave it to my maid, and it was not in a good condition. By the time, it was 2 years.
You used a lot of your bed, huh?
So imagine, oh my God, like, let's not talk about that. So, so the renting is there. So, which is a good idea, I think, so people don't buy things.
No, it's a great idea. Yeah, totally.
clothes never. I mean, I know about like luxury secondhand bags, which people are, opting for. There are clothes that you can rent for weddings, people actually rent clothes as well. Instead of spending lakhs and thousands of rupees on a lehenga or something, they actually start even renting clothes. There are a couple of big brands in Mumbai, I know, and of course all over India as well. So the changes are coming, but it depends on, like, it's slow, but it's happening. I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah, I remember that we had, well, because it was in Lithuania, so now it's a bit stopped, but we used to have a nice initiative with a girlfriend circle that, I don't know, a few times in a year, we used to gather for this kind of swap clothes party, or like swap clothes brunch. We used to bring some things, of course, like they still need to be like wearable, like not like I'm bringing my socks, or like my sweater with a hole, but something that you kind of kept in good condition, but you feel like I haven't worn it for some time, it's been long since I removed it from my wardrobe, and we kind of put everything, and we we try each other's clothes, and like whatever fits, like we just take it, like basically we swap the clothes. So whatever, like I have quite a few things like from my friends Alexandra and from Ruta, and things like that, which I still wear, and I think it's kind of nice to refresh in that way the wardrobe, and it's also it's a good thing, because then it does not stay in their wardrobes, or they don't need to throw it, like if they are really bored of that. But for me, it's like something new and refreshing, and it kind of, in a small circle, it works really well.
Right.
So idea for you guys want to do it.
You and me should have that. I think we'll have a lot of things to swap.
Right? Yeah. I think you have a lot of good things that I would like to have.
And even you, now that you're in Spain, I want to like come and like just get your wardrobe here. There's so much interesting
Okay, come, let's do it.
I think we should. So you do the swap party where in Lithuania?
In Lithuania, yeah, we used to do it in Lithuania. Okay. Here we didn't even do like I don't have a big circle of girlfriends here yet, but with one friend, like she just said like, hey, are you doing these like swaps? And she was like, I have 2 dresses which I wore only once, but I kind of feel like probably I will not wear them again. And she brought it to me. I tried it and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna wear maybe one to office, maybe one in summer. So we kind of I think it's for me is nothing bad. I like to embrace this type of, somebody gives you nice clothes to wear. Why not?
Why not? Oh, wow. I wish I had this kind. Here, people are all about Instagram. Oh, I've already worn it once. Like, I'm not going to wear it again, So maybe it's a circle also, right? Like the circle I'm in now, these people, we all are more into like, social media, putting up pictures of like, outfit of the day, outfit of the night, and they won't repeat it.
They won't repeat. Okay. Well, that's the same with the Instagram one-time wearers. Sagita, as we're moving like a bit more to the closing, I was thinking it would be nice for the closing that we maybe think and share one thing that you should do, or you should do better to keep this world a cleaner place, or a livable place, but you still not doing, and kind of, I know a few commitments that I would like to do. Do you have anything that you feel like you should do more? Like, for example, walking to the gym?
Yes, exactly. The moment you said this, I was like, yeah, I think I should be walking more, but that's all up to, us people. If we Indians, take that initiative of keeping everything clean and nicer that the government has given us, then I think we can actually reduce the carbon footprints in our country, and that will save in everything in our world as well. And just reducing as much. I mean, of course, I don't like, if I go shopping, I carry my own bag, the plastic bags that every shopkeeper gives you. Yes, I usually carry a bag. I do that. What else? Like, I think it's more about vehicle. I mean, transport. That's one.
I think you fly a lot as well.
I mean,
not like I'm pointing, but just thinking, because I remember actually planes release so much of the carbon that I'm like, oof, and I'm like usually like longer distances, like 3 hours or so. So like how to be there, a bit cautious. I don't know, like yet it's difficult to plan these kind of things, which are like, not like a daily thing. It's more like special occasions. And yeah, so this part. But for me also, I was thinking, I would like to focus more my efforts on reducing waste, but in the sense that, okay, I'm recycling, that's great. But actually every week when I look how much of the plastic is in the bag, how much of the paper is in the bag, it's unbelievable amounts. Like everything you buy in the shop for food is like, it's packaged in so much stuff that you have no control over. But on the other hand, I feel like, I mean, if after a week I have 2 buckets of plastic, just like, from my and my boyfriend's usage, it's really painful to see the amounts that I'm putting into the trash bin, And I was looking, I know that in Barcelona, there are a few shops that allow to bring your own containers. For example, I don't know, for even milk or oats or whatever is there, you basically bring your own containers, you put into the containers the stuff, and then you pay for only for the stuff. There's no packaging inside included. So basically everything is like loose, and you have to take it with your own containers, which I think is a great way. But if there are, only few shops, then it takes a lot of, effort to do this kind of on a weekly basis. I need to explore more. So, but this is something that I was thinking for a few weeks, because I just found it really painful to look at the amounts of trash we create. Just one household of 2 people, how much trash we create.
Same here with one person. The other day, today in the morning, when I told my the house help, listen, the amount of plastic bags, please stop telling my driver to get me things. Whenever you need anything, just give him the bag. Because I was shocked. I'm like, I live alone. Where are the bags coming from? The plastic bags, And it's just, it's really painful. I know it can be recycled or whatever. But I really don't really, promote this. And I'm so happy. But Spain has always been a more like conscious about living like clean and living green. And it's so interesting to hear from you that you can take your containers. I'm just imagining, I mean, that person must have taken so much of an effort and must be so involved in this whole like keep the planet green and clean.
Even even for the, like, I was just discussing some time with my boyfriend that actually even for shampoos and shower gels, which are also like, every, let's say, few weeks we need another one, right? It's a lot of bottles in general. If you look throughout the general population, they actually have also for these. So they have a huge container, you come maybe even with the same bottle, and then you just refill it with a shampoo. And I know people like more like brand, like specific brands, and I think this also has to be get a bit weaker, because really if you go from brand to brand, and I'm not going to mention names, there are like tiny bit of differences. I mean, for me, okay, I'm a bit functional, so if shampoo works and is not harsh to your hair, it's good enough. Then you can put whatever additional things on it. But I think these things need to become a bit more important to people, because otherwise, yes, we can recycle everything, but that recycling means that we use a lot of energy to do the recycling process, and then it has to be recycled into something else. So if we create a lot of plastic, like, we're going to create another series of plastic into something else. So I'm just thinking, like, this, for me, this reducing the amount of steps created in the household is something that I would love to do, and I'm trying to brainstorm ideas how to.
Yes, please let me know, because I'm also on the same boat, and it happened to me this morning, and we're discussing the same topic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so Sangeeta, let's keep each other alert. Let's not get loose and lazy, and because somebody will have to save this planet, and we can be part of it,
Of course.
So lovely chatting with you. I think it's about time for us to say goodbye and go on beautiful ways to enjoy the day in a cleaner manner.
Yes, of course. But it was such a beautiful topic, Aiste. I mean, I'm really glad you've taken that initiative, and you've been choosing really great topics, for all our viewers to watch. And I hope they learned something from this. And if they have any questions, they can just comment below.
Yes, thank you. And I hope so too. Let's keep on working.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, darling. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.